everyone, my name is Kenny Meg. So nice to have you here today. Well, today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting topic, but then I want you to picture this scenario in your head. Can you imagine yourself being tied to someone on a spot and then you both decide to walk in opposite directions? Please, if you can answer me, will it be possible for you to walk in opposite directions? For me, the answer would be no, because you both have to agree together to walk in the same directions as long as you are tied together. And then my Bible says, can two walk together except they be agreed? And the answer for me again is no. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about areas that you need to agree on before entering into marriage as a couple or intended. Areas that you must agree on before entering into marriage. Stay with me as I take you through this interesting topic. See you on the other end of this video. Welcome back, guys. So I said I'll be talking about areas that you must agree before going into marriage with your intended, right? Okay, now the first thing, after, of course, you've agreed that you want to get married, you've agreed that you love each other, you've agreed that, yes, this is the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. All that is being said and established. Now, the first thing I want you to agree on before entering into marriage, because like I said in the scripture, can two walk together except they be agreed? Before you go into marriage, let the scripture be at the back of your heart, be at the back of your mind. Always meditate on the scripture. Make sure that you and the person you're going to marriage with, you are agreeing on almost every area. You are agreeing on almost every level, because of course both of you are individuals of your own selves and you have your own opinions. You're entitled to your own opinions. But when it comes to things that has to do with your marriage, there must be a level where both of you have equal levels of agreement. And what those are the areas I'll be talking about. Area of your faith. Where does your faith lie? Do you both want to go into establish your marriage on the foundation of Jesus? Do you both want to establish your marriage on the foundation of God? Once your faith is established, it is easy for both of you to eliminate certain confusions. It will be easy for both of you to chart a particular course towards growth in your spiritual life, in your spiritual journey. And most importantly, it will be an established truth that Jesus is the center and the foundation of your home. When you're able to establish an agreement on your faith, you will be able to solve the issues of what church you want to attend. Because first of all, you will both agree that this is where we will fellowship, this is the brethren we'll be fellowshipping with, and then these are the areas that we want to grow, and these are the materials, the resources, the programs that will help us in this area. You want to establish what church you'll be attending. You want to establish what role models, what mentors, what spiritual fathers, mentors you'll be following. You want to establish who you receive information from, the books and materials you will digest in, the kind of meetings you will attend. You see, when your faith is agreed, when you agree on your faith, it will be easier for you to know where you want to go to and where you don't want to go to. And this will help you set spiritual boundaries. You will know that there are some things you will not do in your marriage. There are some things that you will not allow. And this will help build your faith as well, because you find that you are both striving towards becoming better Christians. You are both striving towards loving God more. And it will be easy for you to fulfill the mandate that God has given you. It will be easy to build your marriage on a solid rock. Because just imagine a situation where both of you have conflicts in the areas of your faith. Today, you'll be thinking of which church to attend. Tomorrow, you'll be thinking of which program to go to. If you should tell your spouse that you want to do this or you want to do that, or if you should take your children to your church, or you just imagine. Well, I know there are people that do this and it works well for them, but I can also tell you that there have been levels of conflict. However, when you want to, just to avoid confusion, just be clear with yourselves what your faith is and how you both want to push through to serve God together. It's really important. It will go a long way to eliminate all form of confusion. And this will also help your children to know that, yes, this is our faith. This is what we believe in. This is how we should grow ourselves spiritually, and then provide an environment for them to be nurtured. It's really important. That's number one. Now, the second area that you want to agree on as a couple who wants to have a successful and godly marriage is that you want to agree on your faithfulness to each other. You want to agree on the level of trust, the level of faithfulness and fidelity in your marriage. You don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're not sure about the stand of this other person concerning being faithful in that marriage. First of all, I emphasize on a Christian marriage, a godly marriage. You want to be ensured that you both have come to a point where you agree that you will be faithful to each other, that this marriage will thrive on the fear of God, that this marriage will be full of trust and confidence in another. One thing that I want to point out to you, my husband always says this, is you don't cheat on your partner just because you love that person. Love is not enough to stop you from cheating on that person. What helps you and prevents you from cheating or being unfaithful to your spouse is the fear of God. So if you have the fear of God, you will not find yourself doing things against God, which in turn hurts your partner. You understand? Fine, there will be issues of disagreement, but when it comes to unfaithfulness, the Bible advises us, encourages us against adultery and fornication. So the fear of God in your heart will help you to stay away from such sin. You want to agree that based on the fact that your marriage is rooted in God, your faithfulness in God towards your partner, your trust level should be on the same level so that you don't fall into temptations. So when you find yourself being tempted, you remember that God is the standard. You remember that righteousness is the standard. And you remember that you want to make your partner happy. You want to make your partner know that you can love God and love him or her at the same time, because God expects you that you should love your partner. The Bible also instructs in Proverbs that you should find comfort in the wife of your youth. So also find comfort in the husband of your youth. This is something I always use on my husband. What I'm just trying to say is this, that you must ensure that your level of faithfulness, commitment to your marriage is really, really important to you, and that you take it seriously, and that you make sure that you are both on the same page when it comes to fidelity and faithfulness in your marriage, so that you will not be tempted and fall into temptation. That's tip number 2. The third area that I want you to agree on as a couple before going into marriage is the area of your children. You want to agree on the number of children you want to have. As the world is going now with the economy and all, I know that God is our sustenance and he supplies our needs according to his riches in glory. However, the Bible also instructs that there is wisdom in planning. It's important that you plan how you want to raise your children. It's important that you agree on the environment your children will be. It's important that you have a picture of the kind of life you want for your children and what you want them to exhibit, the kind of character you want them to exhibit, the school they want to go to, the kind of environment you want them to grow in, who they will be exposed to, and what they will be exposed to. This will help you be able to control the environment that you find your children. Note, I said control the environment and also get possible outcomes, not controlling your children. You see, it takes God, it takes the help of the Holy Spirit to help you be a successful parent in the world we are in today. And this is a continuous process. Even after you've been married, your parents will still check on you and all. So it's not something that you do for a short period of time. No, parenting continues for life. You want to agree on the fact that these are the things that you want for your children. This is the school you want your child to go. These are the number of children we should have. This is how we should take care of our children. This is how we should nurture our child. This is the kind of environment we want to create in our home for our children. This is how we want our children or our child to see us. When you begin to agree on these things, it will be easier for you to follow that course. It will be easier for you to begin to be able to notice things that you see in other children that you either want for your child or you do not want for your child. It will be easy for you to be able to cultivate certain habits or characters in your child, or do away with certain habits or characters that are being exhibited by your child. It will also be easy for you to be able to tell that child the things that he or she should or should not do, especially if you want to raise a godly child. Of course, it's not something that you just do randomly. It takes a process, it takes a stage, because the society would also throw certain things at these children. But you as the parent has the major role to play. Before you enter into that marriage, you must agree that this is the level that I want my child to be. This is the kind of parents that I want us to be. This is the kind of thing I want us to do as a family. So you establish that, it will be easy for you to follow that course, and you will find that God is helping you as long as you're staying connected to God and you're trusting God to lead you in your parenting journey. So that's tip number 3. Now, the fourth area that you want to agree on before going into marriage is the area of your finances. You see, money is a major challenge in marriage, and it's a very, very important tool in marriage. If you want to have a good home, if you want to have a successful home, if you want to enjoy marriage, you need money, because you need money to take care of yourselves, you need money to cook good food, you need money to take care of your children, you need money to surprise your spouse, you need money to go to church, you need money to serve God together, you need money to do virtually almost everything. Now, I understand that the root of the marriage is not money, but money makes the marriage sweet. So, you see, finance is an important area in your marriage that you must agree on. And this has caused so much damage to homes and relationships, because when it comes to the aspect of money, the funny thing is, in your relationship, you didn't see that as a big deal. You could easily give, you could easily do this, you could easily handle some responsibilities. But you see, in marriage, the responsibilities are multiple and sometimes tripled. And if it's a situation where it's only coming from one person, or one source is not as high as the other, it could lead to serious conflict, except there be some level of agreement. And you see, the Bible also states that the man is the head of the home. However, the woman is supposed to support the man in the home. And you should be able to agree on this so that you can easily channel your finances in the right way. So, like I said, money has caused so much issues and havoc in homes, because some couples end up finding it a bit challenging, or seriously challenging, when the money doesn't do what it's supposed to do, or when the money is not enough to do what it's supposed to do. But the truth is, while you're trying as much as possible to meet your needs at home as a family, you must also create that mindset that the investment is an important part of your marital journey, because the investment you make today will secure the future of your children tomorrow, and it will also help you have something to bank on. Yes, nothing is forever, but when you plan wisely, when you invest wisely, you will see that in the long run, this investment will do a lot for your family. So while you're trying to work on your finance, also prepare that there's a place of investment, and you should agree on the areas that you want to invest in. This is something that you should agree on, because at some particular point in time, you may need some amount of money to make certain investments. If you don't carry your spouse along, it will lead to a big issue in the marriage. Just let ensure that you agree in these areas. Another thing about your finances that causes problems is the fact that one person might not be able to manage money as much as the other person, and this could lead to serious issues, because the person might end up squandering the funds, especially if you're operating a joint account. So if you're going to operate a joint account, you must agree on it. If you're going to be the one that spends more or spends less, it must be agreed on. If you know that as a man you have what it takes to provide for the family, and you don't want your wife to contribute, you must agree. If you know that you need your spouse to contribute, you must agree, because there's no way you can walk out your financial journey, your marriage, without coming to agreement. And when you agree, it will be easier for you to do things together. So please agree on the money matters. Make sure that you find a level to come to an agreement. And it shouldn't be a one-man decision. It should be something that both of you come together to agree on. That way there will be growth. That way there will be commitment, and that way it will be easy for you to understand each other's perspectives, the way things are going for you financially, and how you can manage your home. That's tip number 4. Guys, just before we continue in this video again, I want to encourage you to kindly subscribe to this channel. If you're not yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. This channel will give you value. This channel will enlighten and educate you. This channel at the same time will entertain you. Please subscribe to this channel. Feel free to also share this video to as many as you can. There's no harm in sharing. There's no harm in liking this video. And there's definitely no harm in subscribing to this channel. Guys, please just subscribe. It means a whole lot to me, so we can grow this community, and also so that you can be informed every single time I make a juicy post on this channel. Thank you so much. I'm waiting for you to subscribe. And another area that I want you to agree on as a intended before going into marriage is the area of your career. Now, this is really important. Now, when it comes to the man and the wife, most times there's usually a challenge with the woman's career because she has to put a pause or take some time out of pursuing her career because she has to attend to her family and stuffs like that. But this doesn't mean that your life has come to a total halt. This doesn't mean that you cannot make progress in other areas. And one thing that I want you to always have at the back of your mind is that there's a necessity for that pause at that point in time, but then you're still going to pursue your dreams. And that as the husband, you must always pursue and encourage your wife to make sure that she pursues her goals, to make sure that she pursues her dreams, that she doesn't just end up being the wife at home without being productive herself, without finding fulfillment. Except if on the other hand, the woman agrees to just be the sit-at-home mom and then find other areas or other means to get productive and use her time wisely while nurturing and attending to our kids. The area of your career is really important, and there are some careers that men find quite difficult to allow their wives go into these areas of professions. You must agree that this is the path I've chosen, this is what I want to do, and this is how I want to do it. And if it's okay, then you both can follow that course together. If it's okay, you can encourage yourselves to do it, because there are so many women out there that are doing well in their professions and their spouses are supporting them. You must agree, if this is what you know that your partner loves to do, and it's okay, she's not compromising her standards, she's not compromising her faith just to do this, and you're finding that she's finding fulfillment in this area, of course, there's nothing wrong with you supporting her. Once you have an agreement, you can definitely pursue this course together. You can be the greatest cheerleader that your spouse can have in this particular field. Also, there are also areas where the women, on the other hand, find it challenging to accept the fact that their husbands are doing certain jobs. And if you find it as a challenge and you feel you cannot cope with it, then there's no point going into marriage with that person. But if you agree with yourself and you both come together to agree that, okay, yes, this is the profession that I know you are into and this is what it entails. We might not be together every single time. Your job demands that you're always on duty and stuff like that. When you agree on it, it will be easier for both of you to navigate the course of your marriage. It will be easier for both of you to plan how to raise your home and how to raise your children. You must agree on your career. You must agree on how you want to pursue your career journeys. You must agree on when you need to take a pause and step back. You must agree that at certain points and at certain levels you need to come out or you need to do certain things. You must agree if you want to pursue a business, agree on it, because these are things that will guide you when those time comes, when you find yourself at certain bridges and you feel that you're stuck. When you go back to the agreements you both made, you will see that, okay, yes, these are the things we agreed on, and this is how we should work through it. You see, one thing that happens in marriage when you communicate is that you're able to scale through difficult situations. When you are able to communicate clearly with each other, it's easier for you to make decisions that will lead to the progress of your marriage. Please ensure that you agree on your career. This might not be something that people often talk about before going into marriage, but when you decide to talk about certain things like this, you will find that it is easier for you to agree to disagree. That's tip number 5. The sixth area that you're going to agree on, this is the major area. Before you even think of going into relationship with this person, agree on your purpose. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. You cannot go into marriage without agreeing, first of all, that this is what God has called you to do. This is the circle of influence. This is the circle of ministry that God has called you to play a role in. I want you to remember that everyone on the surface of the earth, you must agree on your purpose. You must agree on the fact that this is what God has called you to do, and this is how you fit in the life of this person. Because when you have agreed on the purpose, you agree also at the same time that you are called in the same area and that this is what God has called both of you to do together. When there's an agreement of purpose, it is easier for both of you to work in the same direction. Remember the scripture that says, "Can two work together except they be agreed?" The area of your purpose is an area that you must be agreed on. This is unquestionable. This is not something of a dialogue later or a debate later. You must first of all agree on your purpose together, what you want to achieve together, what God has called both of you to do together. You must not necessarily be in ministry, but there must be something that is in your marriage, that is tied to your marriage together, that is a ministry on the surface of the earth that you need to fulfill as you walk through life together. You don't just come to marriage because you want to bear children. You don't just enter into marriage because you love each other. There is more to marriage than just being in love. There is more to marriage than just finding jobs and then working and then just sleeping and waking up, having sex and all that. There is more to marriage than just bearing children. There is more in marriage when you find purpose together, when there's unity in your purpose and you're both working towards that, to serving God faithfully and finding that you both find fulfillment while working together. Someone said something recently when I was under administration. He said the greatest partner that a man can have is the partner of his wife. If you are in partnership with your wife or your husband in a marriage, it is easier for both of you to have like minds. It is easier for both of you to plan, to chart a course together. It is easier for both of you to see yourself working towards a dream, working towards a purpose, working towards an assignment. Now, this will not be an easy task, because one of the things that you should look out for in an individual is the potential that that person carries towards fulfilling the purpose that he or she has in life. And if you find yourself fitting into this person's life, you must also see that you carry the same potential and you are able to spur each other towards fulfilling the destiny that God has called you. Now, there will be times where you will face challenges, but when that picture of the purpose is clear to you, when that picture of the vision that God has shown you is clear, you know that better days are ahead. You know that you will scale through. You know that your marriage was not a mistake. One of the clarities that you can get towards getting a successful marriage is when you know that your purposes are unified together and you know certainly that this union is not a mistake. So when that is cleared, when that is settled, it is easier for you to make progress. It is easier for you to know that whatever challenges that come your way, you will scale through. And it is easier for you to always go to God in prayer, reminding him that he brought together both of you in this union for a specific purpose, and that purpose must be fulfilled on the surface of the earth. This is a very big area that you must agree on before you enter into marriage. Now, another interesting area that you should agree on before you enter into marriage is agree on the way you want to look. Agree on the way you want to dress. Agree on the way you want to appeal to each other. Agree on the things that are interesting to you. Agree on the way you like to have fun, the kind of ways you like to relax. You see, these are areas that people don't usually talk about, and although it's something that you will get to notice as you go on in your courtship. However, when you agree on it, it is easier, because sometimes people enter into marriage and they are shocked by what they see. However, but when you agree on these things, it will be easier for you to say, okay, yes, these are certain things that my internet talked to me about, or my spouse talked to me about or mentioned before I entered into marriage, and I agreed that it will be okay for both of us to handle this together. Also, while you are agreeing, you see, relationship is all about agreeing to disagree. There are times that both of you might not agree on the same level. It's okay to have a compromise that will be suitable for both of you, that are not harmful, that are still glorifying to God. When you have these areas that you might not be able to agree on a particular thing, so you can easily get to a point where you can meet at the middle and agree on a compromise and agree on what you will put to do together. But it's important that you agree on those things that are really, really important to you, that might not really be talked about, that might not really be looked at or considered as a priority. Little things are important details in marriage that you must consider: how this person likes to eat, how this person likes to sleep. Issues like turning off the lights while sleeping or putting on the light while sleeping has caused serious issues. Issues like how you press the toothpaste has caused serious issues in marriage. So you must consider these things before you enter into marriage.